Ashe God, folks. This is Queen Bree. I hope that you are well and doing you in the most bona fide way that you know how. So in this video, I wanted to talk about the question is, did he or she tell you what it was out the gate? So what I mean by that is, when we're considering relationships and talking about relationships, did your partner, mate, significant other, or the individual that, was courting you, did they tell you what it was out the gate, or did you tell them out the gate? So, for example, I feel like as grown folks, we should be more honest and open when it comes to our requirements, what we're requiring in a connection, and being more open and specific about what our requirements are and what our expectations are and what we desire. So, if you want something that is platonic, you should say that. You want to be exclusive. If you are more into polyamory or a polygamous lifestyle, you should say that. I think that as adults, we should, put everything all out on the table from the beginning so that the other party knows what it is, and then they have the opportunity to decide whether they want to accept or they want to decline the offer. We live in a day and time where, people are using their deception and lies to get what they want, and that's not real. That's not authentic, and then considering the topic of headline of all of these sexually transmitted diseases that's going around, and then the ones that are, extremely, the ones that are real serious. I feel like a lot of that stuff can be prevented if, people are keeping it real with each other. I'm so glad that I'm not a part of these circles or, mixing and mingling and all of the confusion that is going on. But, being on the outside looking in, there are things that cross my mind, and there are things that I think would help situations and would prevent a lot of heartache and chaos and things that lead to unhealthy interactions and relationships. People need to learn to start being open and honest with themselves. So my thinking is, if you can't be honest with yourself, how can you be honest with anybody else? I'm not saying that I'm not saying that in a way where I'm saying that you need to tell people your whole life and people need to know your business and things like that. I'm not saying that. I believe that, your business is your business. What grown folks do is their business, and they have the right to keep some things to themselves. But when you are engaging with certain people, and especially when we're talking about engaging sexually, people have a responsibility and a duty to be open and honest with their partners. And then they can decide whether they want to engage or not. And I think that's one of the reasons why, individuals who have, that's one of the reasons why individuals who are pretty sharp and intelligent and, consciously aware of what's going on around them, they decide to, stay separated and to be either abstinent or celibate, because it's just too much going on. And then there's just too many immature adults and it's just too many people that do not walk in the truth and light. There's a lot of deceptive individuals walking around. So, and then there's the question, if he or she told you what it was out the gate and you get your feelings hurt, or you want to combat that, I don't think that that's fair to the other party, because you are already made aware and you all already had a discussion about what it was. So that's another thing to be considered. We shouldn't be trying to force relationship and connections with anyone. And quite frankly, the way that I operate and the way that I think is, I don't want to be in connection with anybody or be in any place or space where I'm not wanted. You know, you want to be around people that you know wants you around, that loves your energy, that loves you wholeheartedly for who you are. Not something that is forced or something that is fake or something that is based primarily off of transaction. It's just, totally transactional, because, that's not authentic. Our relationships in life are very transactional. It should be a give and take. But if it's only transactional and that's it, it's kind of like basic and surface level. There is this big culture of surface level engagement and relationships and connections, and then there are individuals who has evolved beyond that. All that superficial shit is play, it's elementary. So I think that a solution to a lot of these adult issues is adults being honest with themselves, looking themselves in the mirror, being honest with themselves first, and then they can be honest with those that they're interacting with, engaging with, and trying to be in a relationship with. Being honest with those that you're courting or those that you are wanting to come in relationship with. What they say, honesty is the best policy. Like, you keep it real and you go far. But then, if you lying, then you just got to keep lying, right? You tell one lie and you got to tell another lie and another lie and another lie to cover up all of the previous lies. So that's kind of lame. Yeah, so, people really should learn to be more honest and keep it real and embody that. So, yeah, God is love, and if you can't take God with you, don't go. Peace and ashe.